Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Richard Durazo for another edition of Bible Verses. I believe we're at 12. Today we will be doing Pink Floyd's Eclipse and then going on from Genesis, chapters 33 through 36. If you enjoy this content, please be sure to like, please be sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think. Anyway, let's get into the song. And all that you touch, and all that you see, and all that you taste, all you feel, and all that you love, and all that you hate, all you distrust, all you say, and all that you give, and all that you deal, all that you buy, beg, borrow, or steal, and all you create, and all you destroy, and all that you do, all you say, and all that you eat, and everyone you meet, and all that you slight, and everyone you fight, and all that is now, and all that is gone, and all that's to come, and everything under the sun isn't dim, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon. So, Eclipse is the final song on Pink Floyd's album, The Dark Side of the Moon. Now, a lot of the themes throughout The Dark Side of the Moon are themes that they talk about in the book of Eclipse. Hopefully I'm saying that correct, which is one of the Bible books on wisdom. Transience, breath. Futility, time. Violence, us and them. Wealth, money. Madness, brain damage. And death, the great gig in the sky. All of these are topics and stories and things that they talk about throughout the book of Eclipse. Now, all coming to a head at their final song, Eclipse. And Eclipse, a lot of the song is contradictory in a way. It's always balancing itself out. Now, the structure of Eclipse, the final song of the album, resembles the opening of the third chapter of Eclipse. I'm saying this so wrong. Leave a comment if you know how to actually say this. But all that you love and all that you hate sounds a lot like a time to love and a time to hate, which is verse 8 in chapter 3 of Eclipse. I'm going to say it wrong so many times before the end of this. And then, everything under the sun sounds a lot like under the sun, which is a phrase repeated through this chapter 29 times. Now, the author of Eclipse used under the sun to define nature, the natural world, apart from supernatural intervention. So basically, if we left nature unattended, if nothing happened, everything that happens is what goes on under the sun. Like, rather than our man-made constructions, our buildings and everything we do throughout the day to make an impact on the world is not what's done under the sun. It is done by man. Now, apparently, in the earliest version of what would become the Dark Side of the Moon, they had a composition known as Religion Song, or the Mortal Sequence. It was an organ recital by Rick Wright, over which was you heard the sound of a religious talk, a reading of Ephesians. Look therefore carefully how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, which is part of the Lord's Prayer. That's interesting. I haven't even gotten to read that chapter yet, but I'll look forward to it. Anyway, let's go on to the actual Bible study portion now. Thank you for staying with me so far. If you are here still, please be sure to like, subscribe. I do these videos every Sunday. Now, the chapter where we left off, Jacob was coming back to meet with his brother Esau, and he was concerned that Esau was going to kill him because he was still upset about Jacob stealing their father's blessing as well as Esau's birthright. Now, however, in chapter 33, when they finally do meet up again, Esau is thrilled to see Jacob, and he's excited about all the gifts he brought, and it seems like all of the rage that he had has passed over these years where Jacob was getting wives and land and everything. Now, in chapter 33, verse 4, And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept, obviously because they were happy to see each other again. At which point Jacob and Esau continue to talk with each other, basically just saying how happy they are to meet each other once again. That's most of chapter 33. Chapter 34, we start looking at one of Jacob's daughters. Now, Diana, the daughter of Leah, goes into the town, and basically she gets taken by some men. And she is defiled, according to the word specifically. And in chapter 34, verse 2, and when Shem, the son of Haman the Havite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. So, basically, I'm not going to be able to say his name, but takes Diana and pretty much starts living with her before they talk to Jacob, before anything. They just see her and take her. And because he's not a completely horrible person, well, he pretty much is, but because he has a sense of honor to his way, after he defiles Jacob's daughter, he goes to their family and says, "Would you give her to me? I love her. I want her to be mine." And Jacob's sons play a trick, essentially. Not a very nice trick either. In verse 14, and they said unto them, "We cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised." It's a lot of fun to read. Basically, what they're saying is Jacob's sons told this entire family, if you all get circumcised, you can have Diana. Then you would be like us, and we would share everything. And these people are so excited for this idea that they go through, they circumcise all their men. And then, after 3 days, verse 25, still chapter 34, and it came to pass on the 3rd day, that when they were sore, that 2 of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Diana's brethren, took each man his sword, and came unto the city boldly, and slew all the men. So basically, they told him to be circumcised, waited a few days, went in there and killed everybody while they were recovering from this, because they defiled their sister. To them, they were justified. But Jacob says to thus 2 sons in verse 30, "You have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of this land." Basically, he's saying, I wish you didn't do this. Now you're making me seem like a horrible person. And then Jacob goes and prays to God again to figure out, what can I do to make this up? What can I do to make this better? And God says to build him an altar in the different place. And then it starts going through, honestly, stuff it mentioned in previous chapters. But it reaffirms that Jacob's new name will be Israel in this chapter, which is chapter 35. Now, for the specific verse, give me 1 second. In chapter 35, verse 10, and God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob, thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. Now, as we continue through the chapter, we find out that that Rachel, Jacob's wife, dies while giving birth to his final son, and Jacob now has 12 sons. Chapter 36, I'm going to summarize very briefly. It's all about Esau's children. So it's a lot of son of, son of, son of. And then we will be continuing on from chapter 37 to the next portions in our next Bible Verses series. If you have any songs you would like to hear in this, please leave a comment, let me know. If you would like to see another one of these videos or any of my videos, one of the icons should be popping up here. If you like this content, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon. I do this every Sunday. Bye-bye.